So, a bit of history in Indian cricket as two senior men's teams will be playing simultaneously. The squad to Sri Lanka was announced, three ODIs, three T20Is, does not feature those in the UK. Sanjay Manjrekar with me to just react to that. Shikhar Dhawan is captain for the first time in what's been a long career, and he's going to be leading a rather large squad for just six limited overs international. Sanjay, thoughts?
Well, we talked about them, didn't we, in our pre-show before the squad was announced as to who are the likely candidates to be leading India, and we said Shikhar Dhawan or Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and nothing much really to choose. But I'm delighted that Shikhar Dhawan has been given this honor, this privilege, because this is a guy who needed it. It's a reward for his longevity as a top order batsman. He's lost his place in the test team, but it's just amazing that with advancing years, this guy has become better and better in white ball cricket as a batsman, and especially in the T20 format. And I see some Insta posts of the man, and you can see that he works pretty hard on his fitness. So it's really nice to see that somebody get that recognition. Anil Kumble got it very late in his career and thoroughly deserved it. And Shikhar Dhawan, again, I feel deserves this completely.
All right. Now, what strikes you most about this squad? There are a lot of IPL success selection stories with the bat, the likes of Padikkal and Ruturaj Gaikwad. With the ball, Chetan Sakaria, who's been quite an incredible sort of story in a short span of time. But what's your biggest takeaway from the names that have made this list?
So selections are never nobody is 100% happy with selection. There'll always be an issue with somebody selected or somebody not selected. I'm actually very impressed with the selection, and the whole purpose of having people with some cricketing background in the selection committee is to also look at potential and not just reactive performances. Otherwise, a good computer software can pick your best, 14 players in a squad. So I'm really happy to see people like Kuldeep Yadav, for example, didn't get a game in the IPL, picked on potential. Krishnappa Gautam, there's something about Gautam that I've always liked. I love his temperament, and India need, his kind of players at the international level, guys who can do both stuff. So there's something about Krishnappa Gautam which I think one of the selectors has spotted. So he's included. Saini as well, not on IPL performances, but again on potential. There might be a few others who are unlucky to miss out, but this is how selection has to be. Can't be only about all the time looking at stats and picking the top run getters and highest wicket takers.
All right. So, in a large squad, you think someone who still hasn't made it after a significant number of first team players are in England, and then you've picked a big squad given these times to go to Sri Lanka, and yet if someone doesn't make the cut, would you think they're really unlucky? Jaydev Unadkat comes to mind as someone who performs in domestic cricket and still somehow doesn't seem to be wooing the selectors at the national level. Any other names that you thought maybe this guy should have been part of the squad?
See, when you say a large squad, they have taken pains to actually mention that the others are net bowlers. So I wonder whether they would have included Unadkat as a net bowler, considering his experience, and he's an India player, seasoned first-class bowler. He's unlucky to miss out. When you look at the seam department, it's not the strongest because, the quality bowlers are playing test cricket for India. Unadkat would feel hard done by. He's never been an IPL raging success. I mean, he's been brilliant at the first class level. This year, though, I think there were a couple of performances that were very good where he showed his class. So, yes, there are a few that you would think missed out, but that's always the case. And the bowling, when you look at the seam bowling options, you've got a Sakaria, you've got somebody like a Hardik Pandya who might bowl, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Saini. Maybe Unadkat might have felt, he could have got a nod there.
All right. Now, if you look at this squad and you look at the potential openings in the first team India T20 international side that will play that T20 World Cup later this year, who are the those that you think are up for the golden opportunities? Those slots that if they have an impressive series in Sri Lanka right away, there's a place for them in the India team.
Yeah, I think Shikhar Dhawan will be your third choice opener. Because you've got two settled openers at the top there for India. So, that is likely to happen. But guys who will, give headaches to the selectors would be people like Anishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, I have a feeling might walk into that Indian team. Now, India at the T20 level, I still feel that there could be a choice of 3 or 4 quality all-rounders, guys that you want to just get in for their 2 or 3 overs of seam bowling or 2 or 3 overs of good spin and guys like a Hardik Pandya, who's not here always. If he's not fit, he's not always your go-to 4-over bowler. But with batting can be really devastating. So that's where I think Krishnappa Gautam, who's an interesting selection against the run of play. If he shows his class, if he gets opportunities, he can be that all-rounder who will give you 2 3 overs, especially if the pitch is turning, few left-handers in the opposite side, and he has some batting ability. So those are the guys that will put their hands up. Somebody like a Chetan Sakaria could be your reserve seamer once they have Bumrah, Shami, everyone coming into the team. And I do believe that Sakaria is one of the front runners, especially with Natarajan having fitness issues. So there are a few guys there. On the batting front, I think most of them pick themselves up. I think Manish Pandey will have another opportunity to push his claim forward. But I think Surya and Ishan Kishan, people like Sanju Samson, maybe slightly ahead in that race to get that batting spot in the Indian team.
All right. Now, as you just look at those players, you look at the spinners that have been picked. That seems to be an interesting contest within themselves. It looks like the frontline spin options anyway for Indian T20 cricket. Chahal and Kuldeep, along with Rahul Chahar, seem to get preferred towards the end of the England T20 eyes. And you've got Varun Chakravarti, who've been all been waiting for. Could this be a series that sort of gives us an indication of who's ahead of the other when it comes to India's spinners in T20I cricket?
See, the guys who've gone to England, the spinners are test spinners. So you've got a Jadeja there, you've got an Ashwin. And the guys who will be going to Sri Lanka are your India T20 spinners. So these are your frontline main team, first team India T20 spinners. And that's where, you think there are riches of option, because when you look at the spin option, for example, you've got a Chahal there, you've got Kuldeep Yadav, you've got a Krunal Pandya who may play, may not play, you've got a Rahul Chahar there and a Varun Chakraborty. Now that is a tough, choice to make for the selectors. Maybe Chahal might get the nod. I'd love to see somebody like a Varun Chakraborty play the entire series, get a very good idea about him. And what's really impressive about this squad, and why I feel finally IPL's effect is seen on Indian cricket, is the kind of guys Ronak will sit out. Once the playing 11 is picked for the first T20 international, the guys will be sitting out, will be quality T20 players that would walk into an Indian team. So if India plays, say, a Varun Chakravarti and play somebody like a Gautam as a half spinner, you've got guys like Rahul Chahar sitting out. You've got Kuldeep Yadav sitting out. You've got Krunal Pandya sitting out. So, yeah, I think there are some very good spin riches currently when you talk of T20 cricket.
You think they'll have a role to play, especially in conditions in Sri Lanka? Sanjay Manjrekar, thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. 3-match T20I series, for which there's a 3-match ODI series that, of course, kicks off on the 13th of July.
Thank you.